Hello, today I'm going to show you my game called Gravity. So the premise of this game is that you use the arrow keys to change the actual direction of gravity. You don't move your character itself, rather the walls aren't actually affected by gravity. So if I were to shift the gravity down, I would fall as you would expect in real life. And however, if I go right or left, I start accelerating right or left. So that's the premise of this game. You try to get to the objective. And so now level 2 you see the red ones. Those are spikes or some dangerous tile. So you just don't want to touch those. So here I touched this red one in the bottom left. So I went back to the beginning of the level. So in order to beat this level, when you get here you have to move to the left and then press the down arrow key so you start hitting the floor right here. And so that kind of teaches you that you might need to change the gravity while you're moving. You don't just hit a wall and then change it. So the way I designed this game was that each level gets twice as hard as the previous one, roughly speaking. So I would say this one is twice as hard as level 2 because it requires several moves where you actually shift the gravity while you're still moving. So right here, if I move to the left and then I move to the right, once my velocity on the horizontal direction reaches 0, I know if I shift the gravity up or down that my left and right velocity is going to be almost nothing. So I'll show you. If I go left and then right, and when I stop I move down, I go really slowly. I'll do that again right here. So rather than, going extremely fast left and right, kind of cancel out most of my left and right velocity like that. So that's a strategy that comes in use very much in this level. You can already see it's definitely twice as hard as the previous one. So right here I'm doing that same move again so I can avoid that red tile there. I'm going to do that move here. And that's kind of the key move. When I was playing this game, it took me about 30 minutes of playing before I really got that move. And after then, the 4th and 5th level have been relatively easy. However, when I had my friends playtest this game, none of them could really get past level 3 without putting in, a lot of time to actually get to know the game's mechanics. So there is a lot of time you can actually sink into this game. I have 7 levels in total, and I probably spent 7 or 8 hours playing until I could actually finally beat that last level, which was a huge a huge accomplishment for me, actually being able to complete my own game. So you can see right here, you've got sections where you have to do like three turns without touching a wall, and that's where it really starts to turn from a puzzle game into a reaction game. Usually this level takes me 2 minutes to beat. However, the 7th level I've only actually ever beat that the one time, so I won't do that on camera. Oh. So I'm really trying to play the corners as best as I can. Every time I land in a corner, I know I'm safe. Then I can kind of regroup, figure out what my plan is. So okay, here I'm gonna have to, I don't know if you can see the mouse, I'm gonna have to go down, and then when it hits here, which is halfway of where I want to be, then I start moving up so that by the time I get here, I'm only moving down really slowly. And then I can switch left. And so what it's going to look like is this: accelerate, decelerate, then I hit the left, and then I start accelerating left like that while keeping my down velocity. So that's how I get through this. It's actually really hard though. Can't believe I got that on the first try. Look at that. Okay, this is the last level of the game. I'm gonna give it a couple shots, and then if I don't beat it, I'm just gonna cut the recording there. You have a good idea of the game already. Okay, so here's that move again that I did in the last level. I have to pull that off right here. Okay. Yeah, that's extremely hard. It's the hardest part maybe. There's this part right here, it's the same move, but you don't get to pause back here. You have to do it in the same continuous motion when you're coming around the corner. So you don't get to take a break. And that's really the one part which took me actual time to beat this level. I would get there over and over and over again, never beat it. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Oh my god. No way. Well, there you go. That's my game Gravity. Hope you enjoyed. I figured I would give a little behind the scenes right at the end of the video. So I made this in C++ using the SDL library for the graphics, and then I used my entity component system, which I'll put a link to the GitHub for that in the description. So the way I made the levels, I'm sorry, I'm typing with one hand while I hold the mic, is I actually made a second program, which is a level editor itself. This was also C++ with SDL. So if I press 1, then it's gonna draw a wall, and so I use this general principle. 0 I think is eraser, and then you've got the red things, the players spawn, and yellow is the finish line. And so it's a really simple program. Right when I close it, it's going to make a file called map.txt. And then if I move that into levels, and I just name it whichever number it is, it's gonna automatically be picked up by the game in that order. So that's my level editor, and that's how I designed the game.